Hi, hi, hi! So, we've got quite a few things going on today, but before we do anything else, let's unlock your boy Almaighty, because, you know, he's right here, he's lovely, and we might as well get him. So I've not been pushing too hard in this puzzle event, to be honest with you, been quite busy and such, but I'll still always try and at least get the mythical, because why the heck not? We've also got the celebration chests and the jars of souls, which I think I'll go for. I'm going to skip the insignias for this one, because we did get quite a lot of extras from Malice, but you know, that's roughly where I go for, at least getting the special new dragon from the events, and then I'm normally pretty happy about it, to be honest. So, you know, we'll collect some more of the quest items as we go along, like we've got arena battles to do in a second, but for the most part, that is puzzle pretty much done. Today, though, I did want to talk about the current Fire and Ice challenge as well. You'll see that I haven't been delving into this yet because we've been doing some puzzle stuff, of course. But just in case you weren't aware, we do have this global challenge on at the moment. And if you are taking part in this and we do hit the global score, we can get our hands on the Fire and Ice dragon. But in order to get this dragon, you'll see that you have to get at least 7 points, which means that you need to do at least 7 Fire and Ice breeds before the end of this challenge, which 7 should be pretty easy. If you've got permas 12 hours speed ups, it should be super easy. For anyone that doesn't, make sure that you've got enough time, but we've still got 5.5 days to go, and depending on how many breeds you do, you'll get different rewards. In this case, it would be for Fae-Fatal dragon. And, you know, Fae-Fatal is not going to be an amazing dragon to use on your team. I mean, it's got the special badge, so we know that it's decent for a legendary, but it is still a limited time dragon, so definitely try and at least get some orbs for this dragon. Even if you don't get 100, you could, in theory, use some jokers to summon it, but realistically, you'd want to at least get to the 80 orbs if you want to avoid having to, you know, summon it using jokers. So you'd roughly want to be getting to around that 21 point range, which in 5.5 days we are going to have other events coming up, so you would have to be focusing on it quite a lot. I guess as long as you're breeding it in 2 breeding dens, you shouldn't be too bad. So maybe use it in your 2 upgraded breeding dens if you've got them. Like I've got these 2 breeding dens which have reduced timers on them, so they'd be the best ones to go for this. But do take into account the other events that are going to be coming on, because, you know, puzzle is ending in 13 hours, and then grid's going to be ongoing, but we're going to have more events coming up. The other dragon that I've got today is your boy Corrupted War, because we do have quests on for Corrupted War at the moment. We will just about get this guy hatched in time for these special quests, but we're not going to get too much value out of it because you need them to be empowered and such, but just for basic stuff we can get a couple of these quests done. The other thing that I did want to talk about today is related to the new Phoenix Eternal. Because before, people were complaining because we had an offer for ETERNALITE which was insanely overpriced. It was charging like 3,000 or something, or a few thousand for some ETERNALITE. But today, I'm not sure if it's been a little bit longer than that, we did actually get a different offer in terms of ETERNALITE. And so this ETERNALITE offer would be for anyone that wants to potentially summon the new Phoenix Dragon without having to do an insane amount of trading, or potentially is hoping for a summoning happy hour while the quests are ongoing. Now, there's no guarantee that the summoning happy hour will be on. In fact, it's probably quite unlikely, but while we still have redemption quests ongoing, there is still the chance that we may get another summoning happy hour before the end of the Phoenix Eternal quest, because you might be like, yeah, but how many days have we got left on the Phoenix Eternal quest? Well, we've got another 19 days left. But realistically, you need to get the orbs for the dragon, you need to get it summoned, you need to get it hatched. You can speed up those things, but realistically, you would want to get this the orbs and get this dragon summoned as quickly as physically possible. And out of the collection, if you manage to collect 30 ETERNALITE, you can actually get 100 orbs for Phoenix Eternal. And so I am fully free to play, just remember that. You'll see that I've actually managed to collect 112 orbs of Phoenix Eternal, which means that if I wanted to summon it outside of a summoning happy hour, we need at least 68 more orbs for the dragon. Then we can use a few jokers on it as well. But getting that many orbs for Phoenix Eternal is going to be really difficult if you're free to play and you don't have many orbs to trade, because Phoenix Eternal is, of course, primarily going to be for paid players at the moment. Obviously, free-to-players have the chance of getting it in a case like mine, where we either purchase some of the Eternalites or just by doing lots of trading, but generally it's going to be paying players that are trading these orbs out. Now, that doesn't mean it's impossible, especially if you find a very nice trader. You can trade lots of other VIP orbs for it, ideally, but people will be valuing this quite highly because of the quest. So take all of that into account, but it is a 200 orb dragon, so don't forget that, and you can only get one set of the orbs from the collection. Like, you'll see that because I collected 100 orbs out of this, we cannot collect another 100 orbs. The only way that we can get more orbs for Phoenix now is by getting the gold Eternalite and the gold chest. The way that we get the gold chest is by doing the quests. And you can actually get to this first Eternalite chest by getting Phoenix Eternal to level 40. So you do not need the Phoenix Eternal to be empowered to get the stage 7 reward, but to go beyond that, it will need to be empowered, which is a shame because, like, look, that's a pretty decent chunk of food, and obviously another Eternalite chest. But at the very least, you can get one golden chest, and in that case, you can at least get yourself 120 bonus orbs, which for a VIP of this caliber is really not that bad. So that is what is ongoing with this at the moment. If you're contemplating purchasing the Eternalite, do take into account that you can get quite a bit of Eternalite free to play by logging in every single day and doing these quests, the quest for Eternalite. So if you just want to get 100 orbs for Eternal Phoenix, then by logging in every single day and then watching Dragon TV for 2 days, because there will be some pieces in Dragon TV, you should be able to get this Eternal free to play. You should, unless anything changes. But if you do want to have a good chance at actually getting these quests done potentially, you would need to be trying to get this dragon now. And so that is why these Eternalites are quite tempting. Either 100 orbs worth, maybe 50 orbs worth, depending on, you know, if you manage to, or if you just want to get it a little bit sooner, you can do that. But realistically, if you want it done immediately, you'd have to, you know, get it pretty much now. So take that into account. I did buy some, but I know that that doesn't mean that we've got the dragon yet. The struggles of free to play, I know, I understand them, but you know, it is possible. And if you want to do any trading, there's the trading servers, there's the official server, there's my Discord server, there's Facebook, there's plenty of places where you can go. Look at all these legends that we have to summon. I am going to have a field day when it comes to our next summoning happy hours after the Eternal gets summoned. Like Eternal, Hierophant, Chariot, after one more trade conquest. It is going to be a wild time. And that is the reason why in this current event, I'm actually going for the collection rather than for Soul. Because I would love to get Soul Dragon, but these legendary jokers, I need them. I need them desperately. Of course, there's the other one as well, where we can get even more legendary jokers. So yeah, this was far too tempting for me this time. This is where I'm currently at. And if you're wondering where I am at the grid event, we are currently here. And because we just got 2,000 currency from the other event, I am going to make my way slowly towards the next soul jar, because we have been a little bit lucky on a few of these soul jars. We have had a couple of the ×5 drops so far, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. But these tiles get very, very expensive. You cannot forget how expensive these are. Like, look, each of these tiles is like 500 plus at this point. So yeah, you're gonna have a hard time affording them, especially if you haven't had the currency at the puzzle event. But we got all of that. So we should at least be able to get these 2 soul jars. I haven't actually calculated it, but we should be able to get Molluscular as well, I think. Especially if we've got other events ongoing that give it, and more ads that give any more currency. I would really love to pick up this legendary on top, but of course, Mr. Soul is just far too He's just far too out there. You're not going to get him going for the event items being free to play. You could get Soul if you specifically focused on him, like I mentioned before, but you can't get him and the event items. You have to choose. So my choice this time were the silly Soul jars, and of course we're hoping for a ×5 so that we can start stacking up those legendary jokers as soon as possible. So yeah, that is a thing. And Wizard's Hollow, of course, is ongoing at the moment. So there's lots of things in the game going on right now that will just sap your gems if you're not careful. So you've got to be very, very mindful, especially since in terms of the gems, we are going to be having a heroic race very soon. So I would suggest watching your Dragon TV ads if you've got them available, making sure you collect all of the currency, and stacking up gems in any way that you can, especially if you're going to be purchasing any of that ETERNALITE to possibly give you a chance at summoning the Phoenix Eternal, which, you know, you don't gain a massive amount. But the other thing to remember about these Eternals quests is that it is ×6 rank points. That's nuts. ×6! Oh boy, if we had more of those, we'd be able to max rank a dragon in like a day. Ooh, it's so tempting. But that is most of the stuff going on at the moment. The other thing that I haven't really mentioned yet is the Dragon TV collection, which also has Joker orbs in it. But of course, the main thing that people focus on is the golden chest in Dragon TV. And this actually doesn't have bad rewards this time. Now, I know that High Purity may not be everyone's favorite via design, for instance. He's still a heroic, so, you know, free stuff. But the dragons that we've got, you can see we've got quite a few legends. We do have a Titan, we've got a couple of vampires, but the main ones that people are going to be really frothing over are going to be Determination Karma, Healing Karma, and Kung Flow, which of course is available in the Hollow right now, for anyone that does have Hollow, which is not everyone. But these top rewards here, even the vampires are actually pretty good. And you know what? I don't mind the other dragons, because like Master Dean is a nice looking one. They're limited time dragons at least, so I don't mind as long as they're a dragon I don't have. If we get any dupes, like if we end up getting Rebirth, I'm gonna cry. So I already got him from one of these before, but any of the others, don't care about. Even the vampires, at least they're like food producers, and picking up food producers isn't a bad thing. So there's that. I don't think I have Wind Titan yet either, so at least he's not the best food producer. At least he produces some, but he would at least be a dragon to add to our collection, which you'll see we're nearing 1k now. I want to get to 1k before the middle of June, which should be easily doable. But that is everything that I wanted to go through in terms of DC for today. So like I said, be on the lookout for the upcoming events, and if you do ever want to check which events are upcoming, it does actually tell you in the game. So like we've currently got Grid on, Puzzle is going to be ending, and we are going to be having the Runner event coming up, which means that we should have currency in the Runner event as well, but then we'll need to choose what currency we actually want. So it's going to be another one where we're going to have a delayed runner event for the spending, it seems, which can get a little bit dicey. But either way, that is what is coming up. And again, you can check the other event panel for the other stuff that is going on at the moment as well. Of course, we've got that global challenge going on, so don't forget about the global challenge. We've got the collection still ongoing. You know, there's quite a lot of stuff happening at the minute, so make sure you're always checking your side events panel. I know that if you've got the other UI, it will be very similar. It will just be in an events panel instead, but always make sure you're checking these just to remind you about what is actually going on, because it is very easy to forget. Especially for a new player that gets overwhelmed, literally just tap on these things and it will show you. But if you wanted to know where it's confirmed that we're going to be getting the ETERNALITE in Dragon TV, it's right here, June 17th, June 18th. So yeah, that is how you can get 100 orbs of this dragon. But you're going to need more than 100 orbs of the dragon if you actually want to summon it. So keep all of that in mind. But anyway, I think that is going to be me done for now. So I appreciate you being here, have fun, and for now, adios.